Morning students, this is Arvind, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, University Kavali. So, in this class, I am going to start the first chapter of DCM, the DC Mechanical and Transformer subject, that is Magnetic Material Properties and Applications and Principles of Electromechanical Energy Conversion. Okay, so in this one, firstly, I will start with the index. That is, actually, this chapter contains two parts. One is magnetic material properties and applications, and another one is principle of electromechanical energy conversion. So, firstly, I will start with the first part, that is magnetic material properties and applications. So, in that concept, we have a few more subtopics, that is introduction to the magnetic material, and the second one is magnetic materials and their properties, and magnetically induced EMF and force, and AC operation of magnetic circuits, hysteresis and eddy current losses, permanent magnets, and applications of permanent magnet materials. These are the contents we are going to cover in the first part of the unit number 1. Okay, so firstly I will start with this is the index of the first part, and after that I will tell the second part of the first chapter, that is principles of electromechanical energy conversion. So in this one we have a few more topics, that is energy in magnetic system, and field energy and mechanical force, multiply excited mechanical field, magnetic field systems, and forces are torques in systems with permanent magnets, and energy conversion via electric field, and lastly we have dynamic equations of electromechanical systems. Okay, so now in this class I am going to start the first part, that is magnetic material properties and applications. In that one I will cover introduction to the magnetic material. Okay, and then I will start the classifications of the magnetic material. Okay, so firstly coming to the introduction of this one. So magnetic materials are those materials in which a state of magnetization can be induced. So such materials, when magnetized, create a magnetic field in the surrounding space. Such materials, when magnetized, create a magnetic field in the surrounding space. So magnetic materials play a crucial role in the progress of industrial development and scientific growth. Okay, so they are constantly used in power generation and transmission in the electronic devices, analog and digital data storage, medical devices, magnetic therapy and drug delivery, sensors and scientific equipment, etc. So in those areas we are using these magnetic materials. Okay, so here I am discussing some terms connected with this magnetic material. Those are frequently we are using these terms in this concept, that is magnetic force, magnetic flux density, magnetic field strength, relative permeability and retentivity, and coercivity. These are the some terms connected with the magnetic material. So I will explain one by one. Okay, firstly I will start with the magnetic force. Okay, so magnetic force, attraction or repulsion that arises between electrically charged particles, because of their motion. So it is the basic force responsible for such effects as the action of electric motors and the attraction of magnets for iron. So electric forces exist among stationary electric charges. Both electric and magnetic forces exist among moving electric charges. Okay, electric forces exist among stationary electric charges. Both electric and magnetic forces exist among moving electric charges. So the magnetic force between two moving charges may be described as the effect exerted upon either charge by a magnetic field created by the other. Okay, the magnetic force between two moving charges may be described as the effect exerted upon either charged by a magnetic field or created by the other. So this is the diagrammatic representation of the magnetic force F. So in this one, the magnetic force F is perpendicular to the plane of the velocity, that is v2, okay, and of the charge q2 and the magnetic field v1. So in this one we are taking three, that is force, magnetic force capital F, and velocity v2, and magnetic field v1 and charge q2. So in this one there is a difference between the magnetic field and the velocity, that is theta, okay. So this is the path which we are taking, that is q2, okay. So the magnetic force on a moving charge is exerted in a direction at right angles to the plane. So the magnetic force, that is capital F, this one on the y-axis. So this magnetic force on a moving charge, that is q2, on a moving charge, that is q2, is exerted in the direction at right angles to the plane formed by the direction of its velocity, that is v2, okay, v2, and the direction of surrounding magnetic field, that is v1, okay. That is the explanation for this diagram. Okay, next we will move to the one more term, that is magnetic field density. Magnetic field density. So the magnetic field density is amount of magnetic flux through unit area taken perpendicular to direction of magnetic flux. The magnetic flux density is amount of magnetic flux through unit area taken perpendicular to direction of magnetic flux. So here the flux density, that is B, is related to the magnetic field, that is capital H, by B is equal to mu H. B is equal to mu H. So it is measured in Webers per square meter, equivalent to Tesla, that is T. Okay. So the total number of magnetic field lines passing through a given area normally is called magnetic flux. The total number of magnetic field lines passing through a given area normally is called magnetic flux. So in magnetic flux formula we are using mu, that is the permeability of the medium or permeability of the material where we are measuring the fields, okay. The flux density is a vector field, which means it has a magnitude and direction at each point in space, okay. The B field is a vector field. That is the flux field. Flux density field is a vector field, which means it has a magnitude and direction at each point in space. So there is explanation for that magnetic flux density, and then we are moving to the next term, that is magnetic field strength. So magnetic field strength, also called magnetic intensity. Magnetic field strength, also called magnetic intensity or magnetic field intensity. Okay, it is the part of the magnetic field in a material, that arises from an external current and is not intrinsic to the material itself. Okay, magnetic field strength, also called magnetic intensity or magnetic field intensity. The part of the magnetic field in a material that arises from an external current and is not intrinsic to the material itself. So it is expressed as the vector capital H and is measured in units of amperes per meter. So the definition of H is equal to B by mu minus capital M. So here B is the magnetic flux density, mu is the permeability of the material. So here B is the magnetic flux density, that is a measure of the actual magnetic field within a material considered as a concentration of magnetic field lines or flux per unit cross-sectional area. Okay, and mu is the magnetic permeability and m is the magnetization, and m is the magnetization. So the magnetic field capital H might be thought of as the magnetic field produced by the flow of current in wires. Okay, and the magnetic field B as the total magnetic field, including also the contribution capital M made by the magnetic properties of the materials in the field. In the field. So when a current flows in a wire wrapped on a soft iron cylinder, the magnetic field capital H is quite weak, but the actual average magnetic field B within the iron may be thousands of times stronger because B is greatly enhanced by the alignment of the iron's very tiny natural atomic magnets in the direction of the field. That's why the magnetic field H is weak and B is 100 times strong compared to the magnetic field H. So coming to the next one, that is relative permeability. Okay, the relative permeability is mu r is then defined as the ratio of mu by mu naught, which is dimensionless. The relative permeability mu r is defined as the ratio mu by mu naught, which is dimensionless. Thus, the relative permeability of free space or vacuum is 1. Thus, the relative permeability of free space or vacuum is 1. So, materials may be classified magnetically on the basis of their permeabilities. Okay, magnetic materials may be classified magnetically on the basis of their permeabilities. Okay, a diamagnetic material has a constant relative permeability slightly less than 1. Okay, a diamagnetic material has a constant relative permeability slightly less than 1. This is the relative permeability, and next term is retentivity. So the retentivity is defined as the degree to which a magnetic material gains its magnetism after magnetizing force is reduced to 0. Okay, it is defined as the degree to which a magnetic material gains its magnetism after H is reduced to 0, that is magnetizing force is reduced to 0, that is the retentivity. And next, coercivity. So electric coercivity is the ability of a ferroelectric material to withstand an external electric field without becoming depolarized. Okay, electric coercivity is the ability of a ferromagnetic material to withstand an external electric field without becoming depolarized. These are the some terms connected with the magnetic material. Okay. Next, coming to the classification. So, classification of magnetic material. So, here we have 5 types of classifications. One is ferromagnetic material and paramagnetic material, diamagnetic material, magnetically soft material, and magnetically hard material. These are the classifications of magnetic material. I will explain these 5 types one by one. Okay. So, firstly, I will start with the ferromagnetic material. Ferromagnetic material. So, a type of material that is highly attracted to magnets, and can become permanently magnetized is called ferromagnetic material. Okay. So, the relative permeability is much higher, so much greater than unity, and are dependent on field strength. So these have high susceptibility. Okay, these have high susceptibility. So here we are using some materials, that is Fe, CO, Na and Cr and Mn are such materials for the ferromagnetic material. Okay, nickel, chromium and manganese are such materials for the examples for the ferromagnetic material. So this is the explanation for this ferromagnetic material. So this is the atoms we are using. This is the ferromagnetism of this explanation. Okay. So here we are having some aromas. These are gives the direction of the ferromagnetic materials. Okay. And coming to the second classification, that is paramagnetic materials. Paramagnetic material. So paramagnetic material is it is substance or body which are weakly attracted by the poles of a magnet. So it is a substance or body which are weakly attracted by the poles of a magnet but not retaining any permanent magnetism. Okay, it is a substance or body which are weakly attracted by the poles of a magnet but not retaining any permanent magnetism. Okay, these have relative permeability slightly greater than unity and are magnetized slightly and are magnetized slightly. So they attract the lines of force weakly. They attract the lines of forces weakly. So aluminum, platinum and Ca and O2 are such materials are the examples of this paramagnetic materials. So this is the diagram representation of paramagnetism. In this one on the left side we have the arrow marks. It is in the irregular manner, that is weakly attracted by the poles. So previously we discussed the ferromagnetic materials. Those are strongly attracted by the poles but are magnet. But in this one, in the paramagnetic material, those are weakly attracted by the poles. That means the attract the lines of force weakly. That's why the diagram is like this, and the paramagnetism is looking like this. Okay. And coming to the third one, that is diamagnetic materials. Diamagnetic materials. So diamagnetic materials is substance which create a magnetic field, in opposite to an externally applied field, which create a magnetic field in opposite to an externally applied field. So in this one, the susceptibility is negative. In the diamagnetic material, the susceptibility is negative, and these have relative permeability slightly less than unity. Relative permeability slightly less than unity, and they repel the lines of force slightly. They repel the lines of force, slightly. So this is the diagram representation of this diamagnetism. They repel the lines slightly. So the examples are bismuth, silver, copper and hydrogen. Examples of this diamagnetic material. And coming to the magnetically soft material. Up to now we discussed three materials, magnetic materials, ferromagnetic material, paramagnetic material and diamagnetic material. And now we are discussing fourth classification, that is magnetically soft material. Firstly, I will start with the characteristics of this magnetically soft material. So they have permeability. The magnetically soft material have permeability, and the magnetic energy stored is not high in the magnetically soft material, and they have negligible coercive force. Hysteresis loop is narrow in this magnetically soft material. Examples are cast iron, carbon steel, manganese steel and nickel steel, etc. These are the examples of this magnetically soft material. And coming to the magnetically hard material, here also we have some characteristics. So the magnetically hard material possesses high value of BH product. That means magnetic field, B and H. So it has high retentivity and high coercivity. I explained retentivity and coercivity in the previous slides. And the magnetically hard materials have strong magnetic reluctance. And in this one, the hysteresis loop is more rectangular. In shape. So examples for these magnetically hard materials are tungsten steel, cobalt steel, and chromium steel, etc. These are the various examples for the magnetically hard materials. And coming to the applications of these materials are Firstly, magnetic soft materials we are taking. So, magnetic soft materials are used in making electromagnets. Magnetic soft materials are used in making electromagnets, and these electromagnets are used in telephone receiver, bells, loudspeakers, etc. Okay, next, magnetic hard materials are used in making permanent magnets. Permanent magnets. And coming to the next to the that is ferromagnetic materials. So these ferromagnetic materials are used in magnetic recording devices. Magnetic recording devices such as for cassette tapes, okay, floppy disks for computers, and the magnetic strip on the back of credit card. Magnetic strip is there in the credit card. Those are usually ferromagnetic materials. And coming to the diamagnetic materials, so these diamagnetic materials are used for magnetic levitation, where an object will be made to float in or above a strong magnet. Above a strong magnet. These are the different applications of the classification of magnetic materials. Okay, so in the next class I am going to discuss AC operation of magnetic material and so few more topics in this one. Okay, thank you for watching this video.